Welcome to Quick Tips for thinkorswim. I'm Connie Hill, Senior Manager and Education Coach. Wouldn't it be nice if we could have the thinkorswim charts not only identify price patterns and candle patterns, which I've shown you in previous tutorials, what if it could find your own custom candle pattern, meaning something that you like to see in the candles? Well, it can, and I'm going to show you how this works here today. What we discuss is for education and informational purposes only. Don't consider it a recommendation of any sort. Got a chart up here, a blank chart that we're going to use as our example here. In the upper right-hand corner, we've been here before, is a little icon that says patterns, and this is where we go if we want to have thinkorswim identify some patterns for us. So let's go ahead, we're going to click on it. Show patterns, make sure that box is checked, and then say select patterns. Now, in previous tutorials, I've showed you how to do price patterns as well as candlestick patterns. Today, we're going to create our own custom candle pattern. Go ahead, select on create, and let me tell you what we're going to create. Those of you that have familiar entry signals you might want to use might be familiar with the acronym CAHOLD, close above the high of the low day, right? We have a stock in an uptrend, and then it pulls back. We identify where the low day is in the pullback, and if we get a bounce there, and it's a strong bounce, then we consider getting in on it if the closing price is above the high of the low candle day. So we're going to have thinkorswim charts show this for us. This is an interface here called Condition Wizard that you might not be familiar with. What we're going to do is tell it the candle series we want it to identify for us. I'm going to select on this plus sign here, and we are going to look at an ascending trend. We want some candles going up. The default here is 5 candles. We can experiment here, but I'm going to go ahead and just use 6 candles for our example here. This represents that uptrend that I just drew for you. Now, the next series of candles we want to represent the pulling back. So we're going to do a descending trend. Again, the default is down here at 5 candles. You see the 5 there. You see the 5 underneath here. We're gonna just maybe go 3 candles on this one. And then we want to put in a relationship of the high, the hot close above the high of the low day. So which candle's the low day? Which the one that gives us our signal? So here we're going to say we want 1 down candle. And here we want an up candle. And we're going to specify the relationship to each other, each of these candles. Now, when I put my mouse in here, there is a high price, an opening price, a closing price, and a low price. Each of these candles have that. So we want to do a couple things to show this is the low candle, and this one is the one that's going to close above that. So we want the relationship here to be the closing candle. Oops, I'm trying to just click on the C here, and I'm going to click and hold and drag up to the high of our down candle. And we're going to say we want it to be greater. We want that closing price to be greater than the high of our low candle day. We also want to establish which of these candles goes lower. We want the red candle to be lower than the green candle. So we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to go to the low. I'm going to click and drag. I'm going to drag it to the low of the red candle. Again, we're going to put in a relationship. We want this one to be greater than the low of the red candle. And so this is going to identify for us stock running up about 6 candles, a stock pulling back about 3 candles. This one is the low day, and then if we get a close above the high of the low day. Now you can see down in the bottom, it's put some conditions here. If I scroll down, you can see a little bit more of it writing out this relationship between the down candle and the up candle. That's all it is to identify this. We want to give it a name. So the name we're going to use here today, I'm going to call this CAHOLD 2, CAHOLD 2. And then we want to identify, well, what icon do we want it to show up on the chart when it identifies a close above the high of the low day? So let's go down here. Let's do an up arrow. And we will keep that pink color. That's just fine. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit save. And then what we have here, now we have a CAHOLD 2 that we didn't have on this list before. It's over here in the candlestick pattern now. One thing we want to do on this next screen is the size of that arrow. If I select on the gear here, it's going to show it as a default of 1. Let's go in and change it. Let's make it bigger. I want it to be a 5. We want to see this candle when it occurs. Let's go ahead and hit OK. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK again. And then on this chart that we're looking at, Lending Club, we can see that pink arrow showing up. We have one right here. So we see the uptrend, we see the little pullback, we see it identify the low candle, that small red one, and then on the day of the CAHOLD, close above the high of the low day, it gives us that arrow on that green candle. It did it again here. You can see the uptrend, the pullback, the close above the high of the low candle day, and that one was just a barely. And then here more recently, we have a series of at least 6 candles going up. We've got our little pullback of at least 3 candles. We identify our low candle, and then here, where the pink arrow is on the green candle, that is our close above the high of the low candle. Now that you've gone through this, you can make different variations of the CAHOLD if you would like. For example, if I come back to my patterns and I show you what I have, we'll do select patterns. I have one that's just a regular CAHOLD without the 2 on it. What's different there? Well, if I select on the script, that's actually the very same as what we have with the CAHOLD we just built. But what about this CAHOLD 5? I click on the CAHOLD 5. In that case, it's only 5 days up and 3 days back. But again, same relationship so that it'll identify the CAHOLD candle. And you can put as many variations in here as you would like. You can see that I have a couple of different variations. This CAHOLD 7, I've named it for the 7 uptrending candles and for pulling back candles. All right, now you know how to create those custom candle patterns. Have some fun as you experiment with them in your paper money trading and on your charts.